All right, good morning, everybody. Let's wait a little bit longer so that everybody can join us online. Then we'll start. All right. I think there's a lot of people joining already. So good morning, everybody, once again, and welcome to this webinar of ours. This is webinar organized together with OnRobot and Wisematic. My name is Teemu Sanlin, I work for Wisematic, and from Denmark joining me today is Jörn Bak-Hansen. Good morning, Jörn.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well.
And this webinar is, there's a lot of people joining from Finland, and this webinar also belongs to the RoboCamp webinar series of Tulevaisuuden talvi, the winter future. And today we'll talk about the collaborative robots, the tools for collaborative robots, and what you can do with those tools. I'll start off the session, and Jörn will take over later on. And the content of the webinar is here. I start off with a short presentation of Wisematic as a company, what kind of products and services we offer, and how we can help you guys out with your automation projects. And then we'll talk about collaborative robots in general, how they can help you guys in the metal and machine industries. Then we'll have a look at the actual applications, some examples from there, how cobots have been applied to metal manufacturing. Then I will hand it over to Jörn. Jörn will give you an overview of OnRobot as a company, what kind of products and technologies they offer. And then we'll have a small hands-on session with Jörn. He will show you some of the products and how they can be used. And we'll finish off with the questions and answers session. You can send your questions in through the chat. And just a reminder that this is a recorded webinar, and you can have access to the recording later on as well. All right, brief introduction to Wisematic. We are a company founded in 2005. We are actually a spin-off from Tampere University of Technology. And nowadays we are located just across the street next to the university in the High Technology Center of Hermia in the Tampere region of Finland. Currently we employ 13 persons and a group of part-time employees, and in 2020 our turnover was approximately 1.6 million euros. The focus of Wisematic is to offer tailored, customized automation solutions for needs that you can't buy solutions off the shelf from anywhere else. So basically we customize automation for your needs. And often those solutions require high flexibility and maybe high performance in regards of maybe accuracy or speed. And we focus our business mainly on the mini, medium, and compact size parts and products. This is in reference to the robot arms and handling of parts with robots, but we also do some logistics applications where we can handle pallets up to 1,000 kilos. And our mission at Wisematic is to help you, companies in the Nordic and in Finland, to be competitive and profitable with the means of automation and robotics. And at high salary cost, what we have here in the Nordics, in the production business, we think it's necessary to use automation and robotics to be competitive in the global scale in general. Our offering consists of branded products and technological platforms. Branded products include stuff like robots, the robotic tools, and machine vision components, and so forth. The technological platforms we have include, for example, robotic cells, and some software components which help us to speed up the development process for our customers. Then we have a wide range of services that we offer, ranging from all categories of design, basically from system design to software design, control system design, machine vision stuff, safety design, and of course the integrations of different areas together. And basically this means that we can offer you guys turnkey solutions and systems, from the pre-studies and proof of concept studies to design, validation, installation, ramp up, training, and services as well. Our portfolio includes global leading brands like Epson in the industrial robots, Techman in the collaborative robots, and Mir in the mobile robotics business, and of course other brands like OnRobot, top of the heap. We can help you with the wide variety scope of different kind of applications, from assembly to quality inspection to material handling and logistics and so forth. You can challenge us with your applications and we'll hopefully can help you guys out. Our customer and reference portfolio includes companies from different fields of industry, from electronics manufacturing to machine builders to consumer products to medical supplies and also food, among others. Today we are talking a lot about collaborative robots, and our collaborative robot offering comes from Techman. And we chose Techman because we believe that it's a leading technological company in the field of robotics. And they were the first company to integrate machine vision as a standard thing in the collaborative robots. And I'll talk about that later. Why is it very useful to have the machine vision included? And here's the range from Techman, ranging from 4 kilo payload up to 14 kilos and reach up to 1.3 meters. You can find details about these robots on our webpage, also including the prices for the robots and also for the OnRobot tools as well. This is an example of one of our technological platforms. We've designed a mobile stand platform for the range of Techman robots. And with these platforms, we can enhance and improve the capabilities, the flexibility of collaborative robots, introducing wireless connection and remote monitoring and the possibility to add all kinds of peripheral systems and so forth for the robots. We call these platforms Wisematic Camo. So let's have a look how collaborative robots can help you as a manufacturer if you're in the business of metal and machine production. So collaborative robots can help you in many ways. So they are quite different to standard industrial robots. They can share the workspace with human operators, and they're very compact and much more affordable than standard automation systems. So they bring a lot of benefits. In general, you could say that with the collaborative robot, it's easy to eliminate waiting times. A lot of the operators in factory halls, they are waiting for the production machinery to finish off their work cycle. And then they will repeat the unloading and loading of the work pieces to the machines. And this is something that could be quite easily automated with collaborative robots. This will eliminate also the boring repetitive tasks that the operator might not be too fond of. Also, you can use the robot to take away unergonomic tasks and help the operator that way. You can enable flexibility compared to traditional automation systems. Collaborative systems are much more flexible. You can move them around. You can automate different kind of tasks, which is much more flexible than the standard automatic robotic systems. And when you personally realizes that, okay, management is willing to invest in a new technology and take away the boring and dull and maybe dangerous tasks as well, it increases the personal motivation quite a lot, and that way also the work satisfaction of your employees. With the collaborative robot, you can increase your unmanned hours. You can leave the machine running overnight, for example. You will increase your throughput, your yield, and also the quality, as a robot doesn't make mistakes what operator can easily do. All this together, you can save space. Collaborative systems are much more compact, agile compared to traditional systems that are fixed to the floor. You can save time through the implementation, it's much quicker, and also they are much affordable compared to traditional solutions. Let's have a closer look what are the differences between investing in traditional robot and to collaborative systems. First of all, the design effort. Traditional systems consist of a lot of different subsystems and components, and you have to design the whole system to pretty much down to every detail before you can even start doing any trials with the system. But with a collaborative robot, it's easy. Just get the robot, pick the right tool, fix the robot, and start implementing in a very short time. And this is an easy way to start doing trials and validation, see if it works for you. Comparing the hardware, traditional system consists of several layers of controls and components and external systems, and integrating all together is a big task as well, and it can be quite complicated. As if in collaborative systems, everything is basically included. For example, in Techman, you'll have the machine vision, you have the safety system, and you have the user interface, everything ready. You just need to add this tool and you can start developing your application. And sometimes you can even use the manual work fixtures and peripherals that you used before. The same goes to software. Basically, standard traditional systems, they have several different layers of software, and all this has to be integrated to work together. And this requires expertise and knowledge how to do it. But with collaborative systems, example in Techman, everything is included. You have everything in the graphical user interface to program the motions, the machine vision, everything you need. And you don't need a long training or experience to be able to program the robot. With changeovers, with traditional systems, you might have to do everything all over again when you have to adapt the robot to a new task. And of course, this takes a lot of time and a lot of money. When with collaborative robots, the reconfiguration is also quick and easy, and you can move easily the robot around the factory with the automatic calibration, for example, what Techman provides. And this is actually quite important part of Techman. I'll talk about that later on. So here are the ingredients what we think that really create genuine flexibility in your production. You can have the Techman robot with the landmarks. You can have a mobile platform for the robot, which makes it easy to move the robot around in your facility. Then you have to have a nice portfolio of tools with a quick change, so you can change the tools according to the applications you are having. And here are more details about the landmark technology Techman uses. So basically, you can use the machine vision system in the Techman to calibrate the robot to a specific location. The calibration uses a small sticker called landmark, and you can fix these stickers to any machine or a pallet, and the robot always calibrates itself based on the sticker. So you can easily move the robot around the factory, and first thing before it starts to work, it uses the sticker to calibrate itself, and then the program you have taught the robot earlier works again fully in that certain position. So this means that you can use the same robot in multiple locations. In the morning, you can have it working together with the operators in hybrid assembly, for example. For the afternoon, you can move it to do some palletizing, and for the night, you can leave it to tend the CNC machine so that you have a ready set batch of parts available in the morning. So this is what we think is quite extraordinary and really flexible automation. So let's have a look what kind of applications has been done with Techmans in the industry. First in the line is bin picking. So basically this is a bin full of parts just stochastically placed in the bin. And we are using 3D camera that creates a point cloud of the parts in the bin. And the robot compares the point cloud to a 3D model that it has been taught before. Here it uses the camera first to locate the magazines that it will load the parts to. Then it analyzes the point cloud, recognizes a part, picks it up, and loads it up to the magazine. So you can use this to load magazines full of parts that will be then processed later on in your manufacturing. Collaborative robots are excellent for tending different kind of machines. Here is our demonstration environment where the robot is tending a so-called CNC machine. So first of all, it calibrates itself again with the sticker. And many times you don't have to have any electrical interface to the machine you are tending. The cobot is basically mimicking the operations of the operator. It opens the door itself, it pushes the buttons, it can even use the camera to read out displays from the CNC machine. Or lights, when the lights turn on, when the work cycle has been finished, it can use the camera to recognize that, okay, now I'm free to remove the workpiece from the machine. And here you can see that it's loading up the machine with the workpiece, closing the door, and then starting the work cycle. So very easy implementation with no any physical or electrical integration really required. Here's another example of tending a pipe bending machine, so very easy implementation. The robot picks the workpiece from a simple rack and places it in the machine. And there's an I/O connection that tells the machine that the part has been loaded and the work cycle can be started. When the pipe is bent, it will pick the bent part and drop it in a box and start all over again. Very easy machine tending application. Next one is an example of assembly. This is an assembly of some kind of gearbox or a motor, and the parts of the assembly arrive in a pallet. And the robot uses a dual gripper to grasp the pallets and takes them to an external jig to actually perform the actual assembly. And you can see that there's again a landmark sticker on each of the pallets, so it works precisely and reliably and uses the landmark to locate the pallet. Then it moves on to the next station, and the same is repeated for the next phase of the assembly. And in the end, you'll have a pallet full of assembled parts. Here's an example of dispensing. This is from an electronic part, but basically same goes for any metallic products as well. So it uses the camera once again to locate the exact position of the parts, and then it knows where to do the dispensing. So you can dispense glues or different kind of gasketing materials. And yeah. It's an example of tending a laser marking machine. So the robot picks up the parts, serves it up to under the laser optics, holds it there while the laser marking machine is doing its work, and takes away the part and picks the next one. Very easy and simple application. All right, then I'll hand over to Jörn, and Jörn will tell you more about OnRobot and the tools OnRobot can offer you. Please unmute yourself, Jörn.
Thank you so much, Timo. I just trained to as a presenter, and I forgot to unmute myself. I'm sorry about that. But hopefully you'll be able to see my screen now. And just give me a second. That's So, my name is Jørgen. I'm coming from the company On Robot in Denmark. My position here is that I'm a technical sales manager. On Robot is a company who will provide you with grippers for any task that you have in your production. So what we like to say is that it's a one-stop shop for all grippers that there is on the market. Before you actually start implementing an application with robots, one of the first things that you have to have in mind is that you need to choose the right gripper for the right application. And with that said, I think On Robot has one of the biggest range of different kinds of grippers that fits directly to the TM robot that you'll see later today, and how easy they are to implement onto the TM robot. So if you look at that, On Robots basically wants to be able to provide you with grippers that works on every robot for every application and have the necessary, gripper for that application that you need. And of course, to all industries. It doesn't matter if it's a food industry or metallic industry, we will have a gripper that's providing the task for you. If you look at On Robot's product universe, as you can see here on the picture, we have grippers, we have sensing, vision, processing tools, and the tool changing. If you look at the tool changing, I think it's a really genius way to solve all the problems, because we have a tool changer that actually just takes any of On Robot's tools and put them on really fast, and you only have one cable running down the robot. It doesn't matter if it's a vacuum gripper or if it's a finger gripper, if it's a screwdriver, or even if it's a hex sensor, you just have this one cable running down the robot. So that means that you have a simple setup without any compressed air on multiple cables running down your robot. If you look into the gripper portfolio, we have the RT2 grippers and the RT6 grippers. I'll talk a little bit fast about how they are working a little bit later. Then we have our vacuum grippers, a VGC10 and a VT10 gripper. For both of them is that they are grippers with a built-in vacuum pump, so they are on no compressed air onto those grippers. They are all electrical. That actually goes for any of On Robot's grippers, is that they are all electrical. There are no pneumatic air or anything else on those grippers. So what we also have is that, hang on. We have multiple other grippers that you can use. Here, as you see, I'm sorry, I think I shared a little bit of screen with you guys. As you can see here, there is the RT2, RT6. With those, you can do a dual setup, and I have a dual quick changer right here. It's basically just a quick changer where you can be able to put any of On Robot's grippers onto that quick changer. So for instance, if you have a tending application, 2 of RT grippers onto this one, and then you're up and running. And there is still just one cable running down the robot. We have the Gecko gripper. The Gecko gripper is a gripper where you can, with T-shin, put down to your product if it's a clean surface that you have. Then when the Wells forces, you'll actually grab your product with that one. It's a completely mechanical gripper, and there is nothing electrical or mechanical about it. It's just basic theories of putting down to your product, and then it actually grabs the product. It's a really cool gripper for glass or PCB boards or whatever you need in your production or have in your production. Then we have the 3-finger gripper. The 3-finger gripper is a gripper where you will be able to actually take cylindrical objects, and again, it also works onto the quick changers with a dual setup as well. So for if you have round objects that you need to have in your tending application, then this is the perfect gripper for you. For the last gripper I want to introduce to you today is the 2FG7 gripper. It's a fast parallel gripper that is also IP67. So it's also really durable to have in your tending application. If you have a lot of cooling fluid in your application, it's a really nice gripper to use right there. Right now, I have a question regarding if we have any automatic tool changing. Unfortunately, no. In those years of experience that I have, I cannot see that it's really durable to have automatic quick changing. because with the dual setup, for instance, you will have two tasks to use in your applications with just one robot. So at this moment, we do not have automatic tool changing. Please, if you have any more questions, just ask. So on the next slide, I would like to talk to you a little bit about the 2FG7. What is really cool about these grippers that we have is that they are really easy to program. If you look at, I'll show you all about that later when we have the hands-on. What we have here is a gripper where you can program the stroke in millimeters and at the same time program the speed and the force that you want to attach to your product. And it's really, really simple. For the Techman robot, you basically just implement the software that we provide with the gripper into the Techman. It takes roughly about 5 minutes. And then afterwards, you have the drop-down menu, choose the gripper that you have bought. And then you have all the necessary things that you need to program the gripper. I'll show you later how easy it actually is to change the grippers and how easy it is to get them to operate. So that means that you will have a really fast return of your investment when you're buying the products from OnRobot. We'll be able to provide you with the products within 24 hours. And it's basically, if you look at it, it will take you roughly 2 to 3 hours, and then you'll have a simple setup up and running. And of course, VisiMagic will be more than helpful to help you guys out trying to program these grippers. If you look at the 2FG7, it has an IP67 rating, as I said. It also have an ISO class 5 certification for clean room use. So if you're in a laboratory or somewhere else where you have clean room, this gripper will also be a really cool gripper to use in that applications that you have there. The 3FG gripper or 3FG15 gripper is a 3-finger gripper, which is really, really small compared to the payload that it has. It will be able to lift 15 kilograms. So if you have a piece of iron that a piece of iron that weighs 15 kilograms, this will be a really, really perfect solution for you guys. Again, it's adjustable in force, it's adjustable in millimeters in the diameters that you want to grab around it. It also has brakes on it, so if you lose, let's just say power or anything else, it will still have the gripper, will still have the brakes on and your product attached to the gripper. So you will not drop it on the floor, for instance. All the fingertips on all the grippers from OnRobot, they are adjustable. That means that you can change the fingertip yourself, and you can 3D print any fingertips that you need for your applications. For instance, if you have a product that has a special shape, you can take the fingertips for that gripper that you have chosen and 3D print them so they fit directly to your product. The RT grippers is basically the same. They have a really wide stroke. RT6 gripper has a stroke from 0 to 160 millimeters and a force of from 25 to 120 newtons. And that means if you reach the force that you want to apply to your product and you haven't reached your millimeters, you'll have some feedback from there as well that it hasn't reached them. And if it reaches the force, the gripper will stop closing and keeping on the force that you're having. You can see here on the picture that there's also some in the fingertips. There are some buildings for built-in PLD Cat3 sensors, and those are a safety feature that we have built into this gripper, so that if people are getting their hands into the gripper, it will actually stop functioning until the robot that it has stopped functioning. So it's a safety feature built inside the gripper as well. Then we come to the vacuum grippers. For the vacuum grippers, we have the VG10, and as I said, we have the VGT10. For both grippers, they have a maximum payload of 15 kilograms. What's really cool about these are that it doesn't matter which one of them you choose, they are, you can change the suction cups, you can make 3D, how do you say that? Models, so you can actually grab a product that fits directly to you. And the really coolest thing is that it's a 2-channel gripper and it's electrical one. So you don't have to have compressed air or vacuum down to your robot. Again, it's just one cable running down the robot, and then you're up and running. The last thing I want to show in this presentation is the force torque sensor. If, as Timo showed you, we want to assemble something and you don't know exactly where your product is, the force torque sensor will be able to guide the robot into the position where you want to grab your product. Or if you want to palletize or depalletize, you can actually feel without the camera solution, you can feel where the product is if you have different kinds of heights into your products. As you can see, it's a really high accuracy sensor. So if you have any insertion or assembly task, this sensor will be able to help you out in your programming with that as well. That means that if you want to search for a product, or if you want to grind a product, polish a product, or anything else, then you're up and running with this force torque sensor. And now I would like to show you, if I can, how fast it actually is to program and change the grippers on a Techman robot. So I'll just change the web camera and hopefully you'll be able to see that now and still be able to hear me. So what we have right here is a 2FG7 gripper. I have just clicked it on. We have the quick change on here. You can change it, the quick change it to a dual setup if you need that. Just one cable, as you can see, running up the robot. I can change it between any gripper that we have in our portfolio with just one click like that, and then I'll be able to operate the gripper straight ahead afterwards. As you can see, it's pretty fast. I can take the vacuum gripper, for instance, and what this does is when we power off the vacuum gripper, we have the possibility to adjust what kind of vacuum is it that we want to have onto our product. As you can hear, it runs right now. If I put my hand to the percentage that I want to have onto my product, it actually starts running, but it contains the vacuum onto your product. When it starts losing, the pump starts running again. So if you have, let's just say I'll just turn it off. Tending application where we want to lift, let's just say some metal plates or anything else, this is also a really, really cool gripper to have. Here you can see there's a possibility to add more suction cups. You can also build in your own structure here, so you can just use it as a pump, so it fits directly to that product that you are handling. If we take a look at the small, fast parallel gripper that we have, again, I just click it on, and then you'll be able to run the gripper fast and smoothly on your Techman robot. It's pretty simple. Unfortunately, you're not able to see what I'm doing here on the screen, but the only thing I'm doing here is I'm actually just toggling the product to the certain amount of force I want to apply to my product and the width that I want to have onto my product as well. Here we have the 3-finger gripper, and it's basically just click it on and then operate it, program it to the specifics that you need to have onto your application, and then it's ready to go. I'll just open and close this one. As you saw, it runs, and when it wants to reach the diamond that you have implemented into your programming, it actually attaches the force to your product. You will have a bunch, and that goes for all the grippers that we have in our portfolio. You will have the feedback if you have grabbed your product. You will have the feedback what width the gripper is standing in. So if you have multiple products into your tending application, then you will be able to read those values and decide from there what product is it that you actually have. Just for a show off, I also have here a screwdriver. The screwdriver is a really neat product that we just provided, and as you can see, it just runs immediately with the same quick change like any other gripper that we have in our portfolio. So that was basically it from me, and if you want to ask any questions, both Timo and I are ready for the questionnaires. I'll just quickly change back to my webcam, and here we go. And then
so it's not only about grasping parts. You have tools for screw driving. You have a tool for sanding.
We have screws for sanding. We have tools for screw driving, and we will also have tools within the next year that does a lot of other things as well. So the only thing I can say to you guys is that please look into the website of OnRobot, because there are multiple robot tools in there that you can use in your production. We have some questions. There is one here that says, what is the IP classification of the grippers? For the grippers I've shown today, the RT6 and RT2 grippers, they have a IP54. For the 3-finger gripper and for the tooth FG7, it's an IP67. Any other questions? If you have any questions later on, you will be able to contact us at sales@onrobot or at visamatic.com. I can't remember, is it sales as well, Timo?
Is it also sales? Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, sales at visamatic.com. So please just give any questions that you have to us, and then we'll be able to answer them. No one? What is the ROI with 2 full-time employees? Timo, can you answer that?
Yeah, it actually, the robot, it depends on the application, how much do you have to invest in the total application, but easily it can be, with the system can pay it back in less than a year, definitely, or even sooner.
Okay, and then there is a question here that says, so what is the delivery time for a full solution? I think if it's just a standard solution, what would you say about that, Timo?
We can get the robot down to you in a couple of weeks, basically. If it requires further development and integration, from 1 to 3 months is the usual time we can deliver.
So, no more questions? Then I would like to say from OnRobot, thank you for listening, and I will thank Visamatic as well for participating in this webinar. I think it's been a really, really nice one, and wish you all a happy weekend, and have a nice day.
Thanks again on my behalf as well, and see you again soon.
Okay, have a nice weekend, guys, and thank you very much.
Bye-bye.